Vanakkam, good morning everyone. Uh, I welcome all of you. I know lots of you are special guests, special in your own field, and thank you for being here. Special welcome to Nawab, Prince of Arcot, and Job Thomas, who has been associated with us for a very long time with Dakshina Chitra. He's donated us some wonderful photographs from the 40s, 50s, and his earlier book, Chola Bronzes, was also launched here. That was published by Kriya Ramakrishnan. So he's no more. And so we're very happy after a long gap. We are again launching this book at Dakshina Chitra. And as you know, he started his career in Chennai, the National Art Gallery as curator. That's when he got very interested in Islamic studies. And then he moved to the US. He was one of the very first Fulbright scholars in the early 70s, 72. At that point of time, nobody knew about. It wasn't a very popular grant, but Job Thomas took that and he worked there. And his doctoral thesis also had something to do with Islamic studies. So his interest in Islamic studies has been for a very long time, and that has culminated in this beautiful book, which is going to be launched today. And he's 84, 84 then, sir. And I was just asking him, 83, okay, what are you going to do next? I only meant next in a travel before he's leaving to the US, and immediately he said, I'm going to work on a book on Japanese art. And then he says, just like Japanese minimalism, it's easier to research because they have one religion and the art is very simple. And so he's already started working on the next book. And there are lots more to talk about him. This morning, one of my friends, he said, have you read his Bronzes, Thiruvengadam Bronzes, such a wonderful book. So, and paintings of Tamil Nadu. It's a very small book. I did a series on Tamil Nadu temple painting. So that book came like a Bible because, our murals are from different eras, different kings ruled, and, the Tanjavur artists came from Maratha, Maharashtra, and, Maratha paintings and things like that. So I could easily divide. His book was so useful because people get confused 1,000 years back of Tamil Nadu paintings. The book is so beautifully written in 3 different segments, and he also writes a very sweet note on the after independence. He touches upon the College of Arts, company paintings, and stops there. So that's one book I've read completely a couple of times. And the Chola Bronzes is a wonderful one. And now we have a lot of myth about Islam, and similarly, myth about Hinduism and all that. So he breaks many myths, and he talks about new things which we do not know. So it was Nawab was kind enough when we said, which better person could it be told? And Job was very happy that he accepted, and he called us over for tea, which talks about the Islamic culture, I guess. He called us over for tea, and Job sir started talking a lot about the book, and he was very casual, and he said, I didn't know about these facts, and then he was really enjoying. So we had tea, and we had more coffee, more snack, because he was very impressed with the writing of Job, and he was keen to invite him over again, but unfortunately, Job's son and daughter are here. They're both in the US. All of them are in the US. And Job's close friend Theodore is here. Theodore is always there. You cannot miss Theodore Bhaskaran. And Theodore has been giving us a lot of Zoom talks on various subjects recently. And thank you, sir. And I would pass on to... We release the book, and then I would request... Sorry?
I'm not reading the book.
No, we will read the book ourselves. We'll get the copy and read. We are not troubling you. And you may say a few words after that, and I request Nawab to say a few words. And it's a short affair, but anyone who wants to add on to this, most welcome. I request Sundar from Roja Muthiah Library to receive the first copy from the Nawab. You can sit down and speak. And I have to add about the Nawab. He studied in Don Bosco. Like all of us, Amir Mahal Nale, we get very curious what's inside Amir Mahal. Of course, it's a beautiful palace. But beyond that, he creates music. He has his own music studio and he plays the piano so beautifully. So we were all quite surprised and he was very casual about it. And he played a lot of Tamil songs. And I asked Tamil Thiriman, he said, I studied in Don Bosco, what do you think? So he's very down to earth and they are doing a lot of social work too, because he has started the Arcot Foundation and through that they are doing a lot of, they extend a lot of support for the underprivileged and you can go and check it out. It's called the Arcot Foundation. So they are involved with a lot of things and he said, the recent trend about the pro-Muslim, anti-Muslim stuff and he said our ancestors had donated so much of land where, for temples, building of churches in and around this whole region. So all those things came up and the job was, like all of us, job coolly said, yeah, of course there are these fringe groups, they create all this and the media blows up and all that. So they were discussing a lot of things and Nawab wanted to make sure there's no controversy. How they take one line out of context and all the channels will repeat us to death. And so Job said, I read every single line 3-4 times and told myself whether that could be, interpreted into different things. And he said, I was very careful while I wrote the book because I wanted to just concentrate on the art and culture and not touch upon the politics of today. And so over to Job Thomas.
When the book was under preparation, Geeta said, we should have the Nawab release the book. I said, what a great honor, what better address that can be, better person can release the book than the Nawab himself. At that time I had not met him. And when I met him, what a right choice it was. He was knowledgeable, he was very courteous and very talented. When he took us to the piano keys, I thought, well, here he's going to play to a captive audience. Then I found that he was indeed, whatever you might say, the man is a musician. And a gifted musician at that. Now very quickly, Bhaskar has cautioned me that I should not speak for more than 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm going to keep my word. When I was working on this book, repeatedly, and when I go home, the thought would come, what really is, there is interesting facts, very engaging facts, but ultimately what it is. And what it made me think was the art and the culture and its identity on a person. When I look at us, we have basically 3 identities. That is one, the Hindu, Buddhist, and the Jain identity, which is the basic of it. Then came Islam, that's a very important identity. Then came the colonial era. So all these are on us. But these are not 33% each. The uniqueness of India is, at one point, we are 80% of one, and the next minute we are 20% of the other, then 80%. This transition takes place without any violence. It's not like the old age stick shift cars, when you change the gears, it'll grind. It's not like that. When you start from home, you may be about 80% Islamic, when you are, and then when you are at work, you are 80% colonial. And then when you go back, you return to your, and this transition takes place without any violence. Then of course we started with the Hindu, Buddhist, Islamic, and the Hindu, Buddhist, Jain. Then came the Islamic. When Islam came, it was not without any grinding of the gears. But the result was phenomenal. If you are to look at the most significant Islamic monument in India, for me it is the Qutub Minar complex. The Taj Mahal is the most visited, but the most significant is the Qutub Minar. If one is to look at the architecture of the Qutub Minar, it is considered the best minara in the Islamic world, hands down. The best evolved minara in the Muslim world is in India. And the sculptural, the epigraphic scheme and the decorative scheme of the Qutub arches is considered the most evolved in the Muslim world today. It is not going to be outdone. So when we look at the Qutub Minar has the best in the whole Islamic world. And around 1200, another significant event happened. That is when the Mongoloids and others, Genghis Khan and others basically decimated the destroyed monasteries, destroyed mosques, and destroyed empires. All those Muslim scholars flocked to India. So even though India had only 200 years of history, it harvested 600 years of Islamic traditions, all of a sudden within a few years. India was the Qubat al-Islam, the sanctuary of Islam. So at that time, then if you have to look at later on, when the Shah Abbas of Iran, after his edict of sincere independence, closed all the stages, studios, all the artists flocked to India. Artists, administrators, theologians, and in the same path traveled Nur Jahan too. She was born in the Khyber Pass. And so India, without any, because of its welcoming nature, it harvested artistic traditions of Iran, which had grown from pre-Islamic times. So when we look at Islam, by numbers, they may be 15%. But if you have to look at the intellectual resources and the cultural resources, that is far richer than all the Islamic countries put together. Turkey may compete a bit, but in a real test. So that is a very important cultural part of an India. Then came the colonial era. The colonial era, Percival Spear said, the most important creation of the British in India was the English-speaking middle class, he said. That is true, I'm speaking in English. But for me, even more important was the Archaeological Survey of India. They created the Survey of India, they deciphered the inscriptions, they created accurate plans. So when we say we are a great civilization, they gave the bone and the muscle to the Indian claims by their proper plans and things like that and so on. So we are 3 layers of this. So if you have to look around here, it is said only the dhoti and the sari are the only Indian dress. All the rest of the items that we wear are all non-Indian. They are either from colonial West or from Iran. Now look around here and how we are represented. So again, look at the stage, how we are represented. The blend of 3 great traditions, which is part of our identity. We cannot say this is one, this is one. This is 20% at one time, 80% at the other time, 20% the next one. So it is this aspect of the art history that fascinated me. And look at the stage and relish it. And look around and relish the diversity and the rich identity that we have based on 3 different traditions. Thank you.
Few words from the Nawab. Thank you for being here.
A very good morning. Vanakkam and my salams to everyone. Respected Mr. Job Thomas, Mr. Sharat Nambiar, Ms. Geeta Hudson. Friends, it's my pleasure to be here. When I got the opportunity to release this book on Islam, art and culture, the first thing that came into my mind is, what is it talking about? Is it talking about terrorism? Or is it talking about jihad? So I, being a Muslim, I was forced to think I don't know what this book is about. I was a little worried. Because that is what media has trained the people of the world, irrespective of their religion, whether you're a Muslim or a non-Muslim. The moment you hear Islam, you think of terrorism and jihad and killings of innocent people. So that was my worry. But when I met Mr. Job Thomas, and then when I talked to the team, and when I read the book, it talks about the actual truth of Islam, which is not what the media or the social media or anyone is talking about for their whatever gain, personal gain or political gain or whatever it is. So I said it will be my honor to be associated with the launch of the book, and it's so nice of Mr. Job Thomas to come out of the idea of presenting the values and the art and the culture and the ideology of Islam to the common man who's usually has one ideology of what is thrown to him through whatever channels, and we believe what is sold to us, and we buy it without a second thought because we are illiterates of our own religion. We think we are very literate, but you ask a few questions and you know how literate the man is of his own religion. Of course, there are exceptions. There are many people who I would say are scholars, but the majority is, I would say, not even want to know about what religion is. I think that is the fact that it creates an ambience of opportunity for the people who want to take us for a ride. Because we come from a very old and historic family of this part of India, where as rulers of this part of the country, because India was ruled by different dynasties and different kings and rajas and maharajas, and one such dynasty was the Nawabs of Arcot or the Nawabs of the Carnatic. And as being the people of that time, they had only donated, given for the people, irrespective of whatever caste or creed or religion you come from. I would proudly say that our family has donated lands for more than 350 Hindu temples in this part of the country, more than 100 churches, more than 800 mosques. So this is what we've been raised up as kids, to respect a human being for his morals and his ethics, not for what religion he comes from. This is what Islam teaches me also. And this is what the basis of Islam is, to respect human beings irrespective of their faith. Nowhere it teaches to fight the non-Muslims. Nowhere it teaches me to take a weapon and do a jihad, because the whole meaning of jihad is misunderstood by the people through the media or whatever you call it. Let me just take, how much time I have? Another 2 or 3 minutes? Okay. I'll say what jihad is, because today in this world, the moment you say Islam, they say jihad. What is jihad? What is the meaning of jihad? The term jihad means struggle or to fight your own conscience. If I get, for example, if I get a bad thought or an evil thought, when I stop myself from doing that evil act, that is jihad. To serve your parents is jihad. To look after your family is jihad. That is what? Not fighting and killing innocents. That is called terrorism. That has a different word in Arabic or Urdu. So let us not connect the socio-political or socio-religious or religious political causes for whatever is happening with the religion. Because like any other religion, Islam is a pure religion. It believes in one God, and it teaches moral values as any other religion teaches. I think what I teach my children is that we all are one race. We created different castes and creeds and religions today to worship the same creator, but in different names and forms. Of course, some people have deviated from their own books also. For whatever reasons, the religious heads have their advantage, so they introduce something. This is in every religion, and every religion has extremists, every religion has fanatics. You see, I won't take names because I'm being recorded, but there are extremists in every religion. And you can't say that they are the representatives or this is what the religion teaches us. For example, the colonial powers, no names, okay, but there are 5 powers. The majority of the colonial power, they killed Indians left, right and center. At one point, they shot 1,500 people. They didn't shoot, it was shot by their own people. But they ordered fire, and we Indians killed our own brothers and sisters. Right? It was not them who shot the gun. It was we who shot our own people by their order. Where did our conscience go? They created so much of hatred and violence and divide between Hindus and Muslims. Right? Has it been ever even mentioned today? I'm not saying that you hate them or anything. I'm saying, why point to one religion that this is bad? Because they have oil, or because you want to steal their oil? So this book, I think, will clarify many misconceptions and show that Islam is a religion of peace, is a religion of harmony. It promotes art and culture. It's a religion of beautiful language. It's a religion of poetry, of music, of culture, like any other religion. So hats off to Mr. Job Thomas for coming out with this amazing book. I've read this, and please read it. And you'll understand the religion better, because you can't ignore people. Because ignorance will create fear. If you ignore someone, it will only create more fear. So know the people, to love them. And when there is fear, the next step will be kind of hatred. So ignorance creates fear, fear creates hatred. And that is the problem today. So you have to come back and know about things, know about other religions, so that we live as one race and one people. With these words, I again congratulate the author, and hats off to Dakshin Chitra, sir. Mr. Sharad Nambiar is here, and for this amazing support you have given. Apologies if we got delayed because we were at another event. We finished that, and I think just before it finished, both of us escaped and we came here. So we wish you all the best. And also, as Mr. Job was saying, that I'm a musician, so I've composed a lot of songs and I play the piano, and I learned many things about music and about the sound from my dear friend here, Madhu, who's with us today, Madhu Vishwanathan. And he's an excellent sound engineer and a man, and got a fantastic ear for sound. So I learned a lot from him. And thank you, Madhu, for everything, and thank you for being here today. So with these words, I again congratulate the author and his entire team, and Sharat and Geeta and everyone at Chitra, and all of you for being here. Wish you all the best. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. It was quite a speech. And Deborah Tyagarajan, our founder, she couldn't be here. She apologized. Anyone wants to add anything to this? Most welcome. It's a very informal. Yeah.
I will speak in Tamil. Okay. Question. ஆக்சுவலாக நான் ஒரு 10 days கிளாஸ் எடுத்தாங்க சார் வந்து மெட்ராஸ் காலேஜில் வச்சு, தாம்பரம் காலேஜ். ரொம்ப ரொம்ப அற்புதமாக இருந்துச்சு கிளாஸு. 10 நாளும் அதிகமான இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். நான் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ண போனது வேறு, ஆனால் சார் கொடுத்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ரொம்ப டீப்பாக ஸ்டடி பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. நான் மொஹல் எம்பிஆர் மட்டும் தான் எடுப்பாங்கன்னு நினச்சேன். பேசிக்லேருந்து இஸ்லாத்துலேருந்து எடுத்தாப்ல. இஸ்லாத்தில் எப்படி உருவாச்சு, இஸ்லாம் பேசிக் என்ன, ஹதீத் எப்படி உருவாச்சு, ஃபுல்லாக பேசிக்லேருந்து டீப்பாக ஸ்டடி பண்ணி சார் 4 வருஷம் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப கிளாஸ் ரொம்ப அருமையாக இருந்துச்சு. அன்எக்ஸ்பெக்டட் கிளாஸ். சார்ட்டு வந்து நான் இவ்வளோ ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எதிர்பார்க்கவே இல்லை. இந்த புக்கு வந்து ஒரு நார்மல் புக்கு இல்லை, ஒரு டேட்டா பேஸ், ஒரு டாக்குமெண்டேஷன். இந்த புக்கு வந்து சார் இந்த நம்ம கல்லூரியில் எடுத்த மாதிரி தமிழ்நாடு ஃபுல்லாக எல்லா கல்லூரியிலுமே வாய்ப்பு இருந்தால் எடுக்கணும். இந்த புத்தகத்தை வந்து எல்லா கல்லூரிக்கும் கொண்டு போகணும். வாய்ப்பு இருந்தால் அந்த புத்தகத்தை தமிழில் கொண்டு வரணும். தமிழில் கொண்டு வந்து எல்லாரும் மத்தியில் கொண்டு போனால் இன்னும் நிறைய பேருக்கு பயனடையும். ஏன்னா ஒரு சின்ன ஆடியன்ஸாக இருக்குது, இன்னும் பெரிய ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கு மக்கள் மத்தியில் கொண்டு போய் தமிழில் கொண்டு போனால் யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும். வாய்ப்பு இருந்தால் அதிக மாணவர்கள்ட்ட இந்த புத்தகத்தையும் இந்த புத்தகத்தில் கண்டென்ட்டும் போய் செய்தாகணும். இப்போ உள்ள சூழ்நிலை இந்தியாவில் வந்து இந்த முகல் எம்பியரை பற்றியும் இஸ்லாமிய கலாச்சாரத்தை பற்றியும் தவறாக நிறைய பேர்ட்ட புரிந்து கொள்ளப்பட்டிருக்குது, தவறாக பிரச்சாரம் செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கு. தாஜ்மஹாலை பற்றியும் குதுப்மினாரை பற்றியும் இஸ்லாமிய கலாச்சாரத்தை பற்றியும் மிக தவறான போக்கு வந்து பதிச்சுட்டு வராங்க. ஆனால் அந்த புக்கு வந்து அதை உண்மையை வந்து வெளியே கொண்டு வந்து அதுக்கு உண்மை சத்தியத்தை எடுத்து வச்சிருக்குது. ஆனால் சாருக்கு வந்து வாழ்த்துக்கள், ரொம்ப நன்றி. இன்னும் அதிகமாக இந்த டேட்டா வந்து வெளியே கொண்டு போகணும். நன்றி சார்.
Job generally stays in Madras Christian College guest house. ஸோ அவர் எப்போ வந்தாலும் வந்து லைக் தக்ஷன் சித்ரா நிறைய ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ் will invite him. But while he was there, he took 10 days classes at MCC on Islamic art and culture. ஸோ அந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட் தான் இப்போ கிளாஸஸ் முடிஞ்சிருச்சா. ஸோ ஹீ வாண்ட்ஸ் ஜாப்க்கு அவ்வளோ டைம் இல்லை எல்லா காலேஜுக்கும் போகிறதுக்கு. ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் வி வில் ட்ரை அண்ட் ப்ரமோட் த புக் டு ஆல் தி இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ். தேங்க்யூ. அண்ட் Deepika is our ex-intern and she works for Madras Christian College now. And the HOD வந்து they want to invite the Nawab, so they're all here to meet you as well as meet Job. So 5 minutes, the Department of History, right? So they are here to invite you for some other program. And thank you all once again. Dakshinamurthi's exhibition opened today. We had too many events this morning, but somehow we managed. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here for us, for Job Thomas, and especially Nawab for his presence and his lovely short speech. Yeah, thank you.
Hey.